What's going on, y'all? It's the Wavy Sport. I'm back with another quick volume of Welcome to the Franchise here. But I tap into, a little bit with the finals going on. Game 1 of tonight between the Thunder and the Pacers. And then just want to talk about real quick the aftermath of all this, Tom Thibodeau firing, shit going on with the Knicks, who the next coach could be. And I do want to tap into a little bit about the other side as well, the aftermath of that with the T-Wolves and maybe their execution on how they weren't able to get to the finals. So with that being said, let me tap straight into it with y'all. So we got game 1 between the Pacers and Thunder tonight. Like I said, I feel like this could be a really good matchup. I think both sides match up really well. They're both long and athletic, play really good defense. Great dynamic players who could score from the bench, also score from their stars, their number 1, 2, and 3 options there. Not too sure. Actually, no. I was about to say not too sure about the Pacers' third option, but now they got Hallie, Turner, and they got Siakam, who Siakam is probably their, higher volume scorer to more recent memory here in this playoffs here. But it should be pretty fun to watch. Game 1 is, I don't think that's going to be the game that's going to tell you how this is going to go, although there could be some signs, a little bit of play that's going to be like, okay, this is how the series is going to go. Usually in most playoff series, what I say, it's that third game, no matter what it is, whether it's 2-0, 2-1, 1-1, it's that third, especially 1-1, it's that third game that really shows you how this shit is going to go. In a weird way, I think in this series with these two teams, it's probably going to be the second game where you're going to see a little bit more how the series could go. Now, I know I was saying OKC in 6, or I wouldn't be surprised if it went to 7 games. And OKC winning in 7, but most likely I see this going OKC in 6. But now, after a little bit more time of thinking about it this week and seeing how, the path for both of these teams that kind of lined up in the last few years to get to the championship, right? When you think about it, SGA and the rest of the, the Thunder players, they've been on a rise the last few years, even since the bubble, being a bubble team. Being in the playoffs and trying to compete, the last 2-3 years they've been a number 1 seed or the top dog in the West, but really just couldn't overcome the second round or more experienced teams, more veteran-led teams to get over the hump and get to a championship, right? This is going to be their first time in the finals. Obviously, it's going to be the first time in the finals for the Pacers as well and those players over there. But flipping it on that side, here's why I got to think about it a little bit. Where if this were to go to 7 games, the Pacers might run away with this shit. You know what I mean? Not run away, but if it were to go to 7 games, the Pacers could probably edge that shit out and win this championship. As sick and disgusting as it sounds to me, to my ears, because I really cannot stand the Pacers. I definitely don't want to see them win a championship. But I could see that happening now, and here's what got me here thinking about it a little bit more this week, right? The Pacers' rise to this moment to get to the championship is about 3 to 5 years in the making. They've been in the Eastern Conference Finals back-to-back years now, this year and last year. They've been in either a conference champion final series or a really strong, tough semifinal series against each of the champions probably in the last 5 years, like the Bucks and the Celtics. It seems like they're always playing the Bucks, and they were a championship team a few years ago. The Celtics were a championship team last year, on top of the fact that they were always going back and forth with them even before the Celtics won a championship, even when they went to a finals and lost to the Warriors. So the Pacers on this rise in their path to get into the finals, they're a lot more battle tested than these young Oklahoma City Thunder players here and stars on that side. Nothing to take away from them. It's just that these Pacers players are more battle tested and they have more of the experience of being the underdog and taking out these big juggernaut teams, so to speak, to win a series and advance ahead. Even with being the Cavaliers this year, and they went back and forth with them the past few years also on their rise. So the shit that's crazy is that it wouldn't be that far-fetched or that wild to see the Pacers probably win this shit 4-2. You know what I mean? And that's just thinking about it from a veteran leadership in basketball. If you know basketball, if you know sports, looking at it from that angle and that mindset. And then the other thing too, man, their real secret weapon, I mean, of course, it's Siakam and some of their bench players, Neesmith and guys like that. But their real secret weapon, who we've seen this coach do it before, winning a championship, it's Rick Carlisle, man. That motherfucker knows how to coach against, you know, big superstar teams, top-notch teams, top-notch talent, and those teams that are like, yo, they favoriting them to really win this shit. They got everything against us, athleticism, playmaking, score, and everything, but he just knows how to scheme offensively and defensively, and in key situations, he knows how to scheme, you know, a way where you could beat those guys. So that's their real secret weapon there. So you really, I had to take time and really think about it and everything. And like, I can't count them out not winning the championship at all and just going, hey, OKC in 6 or OKC in 7, but most likely OKC in 6. Shit, it could go either way. I mean, obviously, it's 2 teams in the championship. It doesn't just take one, right? You know, so it'd be dumb to only think that one team could win, and they match it really, really well together. But those are the reasons and the factors that I was able to kind of like reflect on and think about how the Pacers could fuck around and really pull that shit out. So there goes that for the series. We'll see how game 1 goes. Hopefully it's interesting. Hopefully it's exciting. A lot of people are predicting a big blowout going OKC's way for the first game. If that's the case, whether it's tight or close, OKC wins. I see that the Pacers are definitely winning the second game. And this may go back and forth, which will be fun to see for, you know, true NBA fans. I might even tune into more than 2 games, like I said in the previous volume. Now, following that, still with this aftermath of, you know, Tom Thibodeau getting fired. You know, with Tibbs getting fired out the door, a lot of people got, you know, a lot of questions like, well, who the fuck else are they gonna hire? Which is one of my questions as well. Even though I was one of the people saying, you know, while I was watching the series, at some point I was like, man, they might need some new coaching. And then I had time to reflect on that as well and say, hey, keep Tibbs in there. You need that continuity. He's built the foundation and an identity, but they got to bring in another voice or another assistant coach besides whoever the fuck they got on there, who basically all I know is Jalen Brunson's father. You know what I'm saying? What the fuck does he do? But you got to bring somebody else in there who has a different mindset that could really speak to the players, and everyone knows their role and knows what they have to do night in and night out, you know, as far as offensively and dropping buckets wise, you know, because Tibbs, I think, is a good coach. Maybe not a coach that could get a team over the hump with this roster and with this talent here. But if they have someone else that could put it in their head or speak to the players and put a mindset on them like, yo, we about to take all this shit. You got to do this. You got to do that. You got to, you know what I mean? And then there's a lot of blame going around. Oh, it's Leon Rose's fault, how he put the team together. It's Tibbs' fault because he ran niggas in the ground. It's the players' fault or whatever, or it's this roster's fault. Yo, man, honestly, I'm not going to say you can't put it on one certain thing. It's all of it together. It's a whole fucking collective. And the thing is, you can't, you could kind of be like, yo, Tibbs had to keep running them plays in the ground because the bench was shit. But then at the same time, you got to use what you got. You know what I mean? And you got to use what you got throughout the whole season so you can see who's ready, who's going to be ready for the playoffs. The players, niggas are supposed to be great defensively. We know who the defensive weak links are. And they wasn't holding up the end of the bargain there. But at the same time, you know, the coaching needs to be putting their mindset like, listen, y'all got to dig in and y'all got to cover for y'all brothers out there who not as good defensively and they putting up points, but y'all got to put up points too. And that's why I put it on the players. I don't know where their mindset was at as far as their whole strategy, especially in the fourth quarter. The second half is like, all right, we're going to watch Jalen do everything. Like, no, nigga, run a fucking offense and get your buckets too. If you got two dudes that could get 25 points or more easily in Jalen and Cat, but y'all are capable of getting between 18 to 25 y'all damn selves, you need to do that shit every time, especially in the playoffs. Maybe regular season, cool, you could low by, all right, fit in my role, 12 to 15, 12 to 18 sometimes, whatever. Woo, I pop out for a 30-point game, crazy a few times. But in the playoffs, y'all all need to be moving as an offense together. And this shows all the teams that advanced further or gave teams a hard time throughout the playoffs, you can see they all play together as a unit. Of course, the star is going to get his buckets. The star players are going to get their target points that they needed if they can get it against a strong opponent in the playoffs. But all of those teams played together as a unit, going deep in their bench or running an actual offense where everyone knew where they had to score their buckets and hit their shots. And that's another thing too. So on the players with the Knicks, too fucking three happy. Y'all not a 3-point shooting team. Y'all can hit the three, yeah. Bridges can hit the three sometimes. OG could go crazy and hit the three sometimes. Brunson could go off and go crazy with the three sometimes. Cat can as well. But that ain't gonna win you no fucking games, and that's what lost y'all this series, especially in the last few games. Y'all get happy. That first game really pissed me off because y'all had the little 20-point lead and y'all start going three happy, trying to, you know what I'm saying, get the crowd into it. Too many threes. Keep taking it to the fucking cup. Keep taking it to the basket. Put pressure on the defense. You're gonna go to the line, worst case scenario, and you're gonna tie them down. But you keep shooting all these threes and you're not a 3-point shooting team, you ain't gonna win. You're not winning the championship like that, especially if you're not running an offense to get those open threes, or running a motion offense and everything like that, running plays and cuts to find a wide open catch and shoot three for a player. You know what I mean? So they gotta fix that shit, and they gotta fix it quick. Niggas talking about coaches that they could get, because I'm like, yo, who the fuck they gonna get? Because to me, the only thing that makes sense, obviously from a fan standpoint, and the only name I could pull out of a hat and shit, I don't know coaching candidates like that. It's not like they're well known. Like in the NFL, you hear coordinator, you know who the defensive or offensive coordinator is. I don't know who none of these niggas out here are, but to me, if you want to keep the fan base involved and still excited and have hope and everything, to me, the only thing that makes sense is probably gonna sound, real generic and shit, is Mark Jackson. You know what I'm saying? But some of the candidates they putting out there, I'm like, how the fuck you gonna get them niggas when they all with their teams and under contract for sure, and they doing good with their teams? Sam Cassell's and Ime Udoka's and Jason Kidd's. I'm like, what the fuck are y'all niggas talking about? Y'all niggas really drinking? Like, y'all niggas drinking at like 9 a.m. in the morning with these fucking with these fucking thoughts, because it's not gonna happen. For damn sure ain't gonna be no Ime Udoka, because he got a good thing going there, and he's already molded. This is his second wave here. A young talent that he's molding and getting them ready. They're gonna be a championship contender. They're gonna be a problem in the West for years to come. You know what I mean? So he's not gonna leave that situation. Jason Kidd, I think he just got a big deal like a year or two ago. And then you got the number 1 pick who's supposed to be the best in Cooper Flag, or you could trade that for another big star, or bring some other people around and build a team to still compete for a championship. He's not gonna leave that situation. I don't think New York Knicks would be a good look for him being a coach anyway. And then, all these niggas, Sam Cassell, this, that. Sam Cassell, if it's possible, good assistant coach, if it's possible, get him in there. But who else is there? Mike Malone, basically the same as Tibbs, as they say. Would probably be a good look, but I get it. It's because he's a New Yorker. New York is really grasping for people that resonate with them and make them feel good, which is a good thing. But Mike Malone might be similar or the same as Tibbs. Who knows if the players are going to be receptive to that? Honestly, I think it's some like I said in the previous video, some sneaky moves or some unilateral moves that they probably need to make more roster wise than taking a big swing and making a big whiff like it looks like they did here with Fire and Tick. But we'll find out and see what the fuck that shit is. Definitely want to tap into that later on in the off season and everything. And then to wrap this one up here before I finish up, the T-Wolves, man, same thing really to me. Obviously when I talk about the coaching part of it, I think Chris Finch is a good coach. I think he's a coach that can get them there. We'll see if they can take the whole thing, but their offensive philosophy needs to change a little bit too, as far as the players' mindsets. Because I see Chris Finch coaching them to be like, hey, we don't need to keep taking these threes now. It's a long game. We seen that clip. But offensive-wise, they got to chill and stop falling in love with the three at certain times as well. And there's times where it looks like they are running on the offense, and then it looks like there's times where it's like between Randall and Ant-Man, it's like, all right, give and go. Are you tired? I'm not tired? All right, score that, nigga. All right, I'll take it here. Well, wait, I already had 18 in the first half. Now you go because you only got 2. Are you not tired now? Like, that shit got to stop. You know, run an actual offense. Keep running the offense. You don't always have to chuck up a three or kick it out for the three all the time. Some plays I seen, it's good to make the extra pass, but there was some plays making too much of the extra pass. You're already at the foul line or in the paint. Don't jump, turn around, and try and kick out for a three all the time, because I've seen some turnovers happen with that with a good team like OKC, whose hands are always active getting the steal. Take the shot or take it to the fucking cup. Don't be scared in the paint. Draw a foul. Make a cut to the basket. I'm not saying they didn't do that at all in the series, but when they were doing that, shit was happening. Make a cut to the paint. Make a cut to the basket. The niggas that can shoot threes or are supposed to shoot threes at that moment, let them niggas shoot threes instead of shooting fucking air balls. Yeah, I'm talking to you, Nikhil Alexander Walker. Even though you're still a fine player, you're good, you're active defensively, and when you want to pop out and score, you do. If they could get someone in there to keep harping down on your mindset, to keep doing that more consistently, game in and game out, then you can still be with the squad and make shit happen. Other than that, I don't think they need to make a big swing move. Even niggas talking about bringing KD in or who could they bring in. They don't need to do none of that shit for real. Maybe a couple different moves on the bench. Get a big man from somewhere, someone like a Bobby Portis or whatever, who ain't gonna take no shit. Could punk niggas a little bit as well off the bench, playing the 5 or the 4. And maybe get another swing man off the bench that really could get an easy bucket, make shit happen, could be a playmaker, and also could play some D, get a couple blocks here and there. I mean, probably wouldn't happen, but you probably should think about flipping Rudy for him, or just making a deal with that team anyway for another player I would be interested in. But someone like a Malik Monk, you get a Malik Monk off the bench, or at least starting with Ant-Man, who could slash as well, not just hit the three, even though he's a little streaky, but he's a playmaker, could pass the ball as well. You get that shit going on, I mean, who knows what the fuck could happen. And Bobby Portis as well. But if you did want to take a big swing, or do something crazy, I trade Rudy and I guess a couple players for someone like Domantas Sabonis on that squad, since, you know, it's uncertain with all the dysfunction over there with the Kings and shit. Maybe you can make something like that happen. But if you're not able to pull off any deals like that, you got to get some type of, on some of these teams out here, like a Derrick Jones Jr. or a Bruce Brown, or, you know, players of that nature, that role, you know what I mean, that could kind of slash a little bit and hit some corner threes when called upon them, or make some athletic plays, not just shooting threes, that could play D, but could dunk and go to the basket. Get those kind of guys on the bench as well, so they could contribute and really put some points on the board while playing defense, so you don't drop off too far from your defense there. And I think that would help the Wolves. But that's just me speaking out about that, what they need to improve on going forward, which I think could get them over the hump. And we're definitely going to talk about more of this with some more teams as well. But in the meantime, shoot, it's game 1 of the NBA Finals. Everybody enjoy this shit. I want to tune in and see what it's going to look like. And y'all out there, be easy.